All right, welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to slash your tax bill and build wealth with a semi-absentee franchise. Now, keep in mind, I am not a CPA or a tax attorney. I don't play one on TV. So these are just, this is for educational purposes only. Consult with your CPA. But here's kind of the strategy on why a lot of our candidates that come to us looking for franchises or franchise resales, because typically they're high paid W-2 employees. They're looking to diversify their portfolio or add an investment into their portfolio. They might own some real estate, but they're looking to diversify and get more cash flow. On top of that, they're looking for some tax strategy. And I believe that small business ownership is the best way to go for these W-2 employees, or pretty much everybody. Everybody should own some sort of small business. There's too many advantages not to own a small business. So let's dive into it a little bit. So tax benefits. If you're making a couple hundred grand a year and you're a W-2 employee, right, you're getting taxed pretty heavily, 35, 45%, sometimes more, depending on how much income you're making. So we got to look at depreciation benefits, because that's really what's going to help offset some of that W-2 taxable dollars. And so what we're looking for is Section 179 and bonus depreciation to help offset and keep or get back that money that you paid into taxes by owning a small business where you might be purchasing machines and trucks for the business, that now with Section 179, you can accelerate some of that depreciation as opposed to depreciating over a longer period of time. Also, your business expenses. The additional benefit too is you can set up some sort of self-directed retirement account and put money in there tax deferred potentially. So like a solo 401k, SEP IRA. You're going to want to speak to a specialist in this regard, but just to open your mind on why small business ownership makes sense and why I like franchises, because you're buying into a system, marketing, and a brand with name recognition. You don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. If you can follow systems and find a business that is best aligned for you, that's what I would recommend doing as a W-2 employee who plans on keeping their job for the next couple of years. All sorts of walks of life come to us, and whether their intention is to keep the W-2 job because they like what they do, they get paid very well, but they're looking to grow their wealth, diversify their portfolio, and increase cash flow and get better tax advantages. So offset W-2 income with Section 179 deductions. Section 179 of the Internal Revenue Code allows businesses to deduct the full cost of qualifying equipment and software purchases in the year of purchase. There's also bonus depreciation, which I believe is at 60%. Used to be 100, but it is 60. And so you're going to want to work with your CPA as you're looking into business ownership. And let's just say this franchise requires you buy 2 trucks or lease them. You're going to want to know, well, what's the advantage of buying this equipment versus leasing? And that's why you need a really good tax strategist, CPA, to help you along this way. And that's not my expertise, but I want to know enough to ask the right questions to make sure that I get the best CPA to help me, mitigate the tax consequences as best as possible. So here's just a chart on depreciation. I would have to fact check to make sure all this is accurate. It looks pretty accurate at this point. So obviously you can deduct rent, utilities, marketing, supplies, all this kind of stuff. Your normal business expenses. When you have your own business, you can contribute to retirement accounts like the SEP or the solo 401k. So the SEP IRA. So it says here you can contribute up to 25% of your net adjusted self-employed income with a maximum contribution of $66,000. This was for 2023. And then if you have a solo 401k, you can contribute $22,500 in 2023 as an employee plus an additional $30,000 as an employer for a total of $66,000. Remember, consult with a professional. So there's a lot of strategy here that you don't have as a W-2 employee, but now that you also own a business, and you're also going to want to talk to your CPA and say, well, what type of entity structure should I have? Should I be a pass-through entity, S corp, all that kind of stuff? These are questions you're going to ask your CPA. But you want to put together a plan and a thesis of like, how am I going to pay less in taxes, own a cash flowing business, and keep a business that there's always opportunity every year to get new equipment that can offset the income you're making on the earned income side on the W-2. And this is kind of the strategy that I believe is the best. Remember, I've talked about the triangle strategy, which I believe is, tax strategy is a big part of it. Operating cash flowing business for the tax strategy, the extra cash flow, and then your long-term real estate acquisitions for long-term wealth building, depreciation, mortgage paid out, all that good stuff that owning real estate does. And then we're talking about utilizing pass-through entities. You're going to want to talk to your CPA as you're building out your plan, what entity you should look for your unique situation. Remember, everybody has a little bit different situation. Some people make $50,000 a year. Some people make $500,000 a year. Some people make $1 million a year. Some people have some write-offs. Some people don't have any write-offs. So you got to start somewhere and kind of build this blueprint, this roadmap. And so through my financing background, doing the SBA and getting into the franchise consulting world, I realized there's a huge void. Like, I talk to so many people that are high-paid doctors, W-2 income, have no tax strategy, don't understand, don't know what Section 179 is, don't know what bonus depreciation is, because they've always been a W-2 employee. And they're going, wait, I'm making all this money, but the more overtime I work, the more I pay in taxes. I'm like, it's like a lost leader now. So what can we do? We can own a small business, a semi-absentee business model. We can own a business that's like vending machines. We don't have to have some big elaborate business, but what I would do is structure it and really figure out, how to put yourself and your family in the best financial position possible. And so that's why I like the semi-absentee business model. And it isn't passive. It is semi-absentee, meaning you work on the business, not in the business necessarily. Usually in the beginning, when you're doing a franchise startup, you're gonna spend time developing, hiring, building culture. So it's something you're going to spend 15, 25 hours a week in. Now, as you build out the business and you get the right general manager, depending on the franchise model, you can start backing off your time. But remember, this isn't like buying a rental property and getting a property manager. This has a lot more moving pieces. So that's why we're going to match you on what your skill sets are and how much time you have, how much financial capability you have to identify a business model that would make the most sense. That's what our team does. We help you find them. We help you fund them. So anyways, I just want to give you an overview of kind of a thesis on why semi-absentee franchise. You've got systems. You've got blueprints to follow, a roadmap on how to run this business. There's a lot of franchise models out there that don't require brick and mortar location. So depending on your ultimate strategy, maybe you're making a couple $1,000,000 a year in your corporate job and you really need a lot of tax write-off. And so we have clients, customers, candidates like that. Everybody's got a unique situation. Everybody's got a different story. So it's really creating a thesis for you. And we try to help you do that. We try to figure out how to put yourself in a better financial situation, because it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep, right? And how much you can divert into appreciating assets, cash flowing assets that are going to help you get great tax write-offs and deductions. Remember, some of the Section 179, you got to learn about what's called recapture. All these things are things I believe you should learn about. But I do believe everybody should own a small business. There's a business out there for everybody. Some are extremely passive. Some of them are semi-absentee, where you're gonna put a lot of work in, but you can grow it where eventually you're stepping back, and over time, maybe you're only spending 5 hours running that business per week. So we have a proven method that we take people through to get to a level of achievement of finding their ideal business that makes the most sense from a financial picture. We usually get them in touch with a CPA to go, hey, here's my situation. What would you recommend from a tax strategy? What type of business entity should I set up? So anyways, I hope this rambling got you into a better mindset of like, look, there's possibilities out there. Let's open our minds to like being able to not pay 45% of my income to taxes legally by creating tax strategy and owning a small business. So maybe there's your spouse, right? Your spouse might be stay at home. Maybe they have some time to help run the business. Or maybe you're both working, but you still work a hybrid schedule. There's a lot of business models that can mesh well. Our goal is to really help you find something that makes the most sense. But really the point of this episode was, look, there's a lot of ways out there, and just open your mind to learning about how this all works from a high level standpoint. You don't have to be an expert, because you're going to go find a really good small business friendly CPA that will not just do your tax returns, but help you create a tax strategy. That's what you really need, in my opinion. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. Hi guys, Bo Exine here, and I'm with Baby Bo. Baby Bo is just a little over 4 months. He's my first child, my wife and I. So if you want to create legacy for your family, I highly suggest you go to our Business Ownership Summit. You can find all the events we're doing. Primarily, they're all free. You can go to boexine.com/events. And I hope to see you at one of our events. We teach business ownership, how to leverage SBA financing, tax strategies. I'm not a CPA and an attorney, but we bring CPAs on. You're going to learn why everyone should own a small business. So I hope you attend. Go to boexine.com/events. I'll see you at the next one. Hey guys, Bo Exine here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.